Morning, everybody. My name is Anjali Sachdeva, and I am the head of foreign languages in 21K School. I have been working in education for past 5 years now, focusing on environment where students feel welcomed, students are empowered to learn, grow, and achieve their fullest potential. Thank you for taking out time to join this session. I'm truly excited to be here today to discuss a topic that has a potential to transform not just our classrooms, but the way our students perceive themselves as learners. Fostering growth mindset in the classroom. So, as I mentioned, this presentation is about fostering a growth mindset in our classrooms. Let's understand what a mindset is first. Before I start, what is a growth mindset? Let's understand what's a mindset. So, mindset is basically our set of beliefs, how we perceive things, which actually influences our attitude and behavior. A mindset is a series of actions that we think about ourselves in daily day-to-day lives also as human beings. For example, we believe either we are smart or we are intelligent, or we are not smart and we are unintelligent. A mindset is how we perceive our own potential, our own abilities. It's actually shape up our future, the way we react to things in day-to-day life, the way we react to challenges, the way we react to success, the way we react to failures. As we welcome success, we should always welcome failure as well. In education, understanding that little things can make a difference in our students' life for their personal development, for their holistic development. A growth mindset. Student might, a growth mindset says, okay, I didn't get it. I need to work on it. Whereas the fixed mindset student will always avoid the tasks. And I think when I talk about a fixed mindset, people nowadays in this world where competition is way too much, people believe, traits such as intelligence and talents are set at birth, and a person with fixed mindset lets the failure and success define their own personality. I have seen this in my personal and professional life both. Through this fixed mindset, a lot of time is spent by the person, they're just writing, okay, I'm good at this, I'm good at that. They just label themselves, describing themselves either smart or unintelligent. So whenever you are facing a failure, whenever you are facing a challenge, let's just pass the test. Let's just work on it. The fixed mindset versus growth mindset. People with fixed mindset just always appear intelligent. They believe that, outlook, the outlooks is extremely dynamic when I talk about fixed mindset. Let's understand this quote by Carol Dweck. Becoming is better than being. I think it's a very famous quote by her. So life is not about success and failure. Life is a journey. Life is not about reaching a final stage. It's the process that counts. Rather than, it's an ongoing process where we are learning, we are transforming, we are growing. So there's always a room to grow for learners, for us as individuals, always improve. Embrace your mindset, which encourages adaptability. Extremely important. We should encourage our own mindset to adapt to different situations. Be curious around us. Whatever is happening, be curious to learn. There's no age of learning, right? So value your process over your destination wherever you're reaching. The journey of self-improvement, your striving of goals is probably not every time it is simple. It is full of challenges. It is full of lessons. It's full of experiences that shape us in the end. When we focus on becoming, we are open to change and willing to adapt. So be flexible in your thought process. Be patient, be resilient, be calm. And, don't be in a static state. Becoming reminds us that life is always moving forward. And practical application, of course, is very important in our personal lives. Uh, we are striving to become a better parent every day. We are striving to become a better facilitator or an educator every day. So in education, it could be, for us, it could mean valuing learning and growth over grades and achievements. It's all about progress. It's all about not perfection, but always progress. So let's understand why growth mindset matters in learning. So everyday, day-to-day life, there are four principles that I follow whenever I am in my classroom or in my personal life also. That intelligence and abilities are not fixed. Effort is essential for growth. Mistakes are the opportunities to learn every day. And yes, constructive feedback is extremely important for improvement. Now, we all have intelligence. We all have, we take it every day as it comes. So if I say intelligence, it's a fixed word. But remember, intelligence can grow with effort and learning. Students or learners must understand that their abilities are not restricted to some place or the prior failures. If they have failed in something, they'll grow over time. We all have that capacity to learn and improve every day. I had a student who struggled in essay writing, but he improved over time by, rewriting, practicing brainstorming techniques, incorporating the feedback shared in the classroom. And after a few months, the essays reflect better structure and creativity. So, example, a student could not pronounce English words correctly during a speaking challenge, and he faced difficulty. So, we as a facilitator or a teacher, we should highlight the progress and not the outcome. We could probably say him, okay, you have improved in your sentence structure. So, as compared to last month. So keep working on the transitions and your essay will get stronger. This is how we should tell and go forward in our classroom. If I move to the next principle, it says efforts is essential for growth. So if you see this image, effort is, this is watering a plant and it is growing as a flower. So why is that? It's basically success is more about the effort that initiate talent. Students often feel overvalued their natural ability and undervalue the hard work. Okay, because they have this mindset, especially through prior failures, that either we are intelligent or we are unintelligent. So students often overvalue the natural ability and undervalue the hard work. They always forget that hard work is the key to every platform, every way, every aspect of life. Now, imagine trying learning a new language. I'm always into languages in my school, and I see children, I talk to children every day. So imagine a child or a student or a learner learning a new language. So he might be gifted with a strong memory. But if he doesn't practice, that ability will not take him far. So bottom line is efforts matter more. A student learning English finds grammar very challenging. So by constantly giving him the exercises, giving him the constructive feedback, slowly and steadily, he can improve. A person who's weak in reading, and I have a couple of students in my class who cannot read properly. So students who put their effort regularly, they can improve regardless of what level they are. So celebrate patience, celebrate perseverance. I can see, whenever I give feedback, I tell them, I can see you have been practicing XYZ topic. Your ideas are becoming more detailed day by day. So the feedback that you give is extremely important. The third principle, mistakes are opportunities to learn. I think when I say this thing, all I tell is that if you do a mistake and you are not seizing it as an opportunity, but taking it in your mindset, okay, I have done a mistake, and not growing, you're not improving. So normalize making mistakes. Normalizing mistakes encourages students to do and perform better. They start taking risk. So when you make a mistake, you you have a chance to learn. I always tell my students, you have a chance to learn. So do it. Irrespective of you don't know, try it. Do something. I'm sure every wrong answer that I review in the class will make you grow closer to the mastering of the concept. So even if it is a wrong answer, I appreciate your wrong answer. I had a group project in my class which did not meet the expectations as required because they were not clear with the instructions I gave. So I guided them to reflect on what went wrong because it was not meeting my requirements, and I told them that this is something which you need to work upon. So I guided them to reflect on what went wrong. Let them reflect on the mistakes. As as educators, we are there to mentor them, be with them. But I think we should always guide them to what went wrong. Let them reflect and always, as an educator, model the positive attitude. Okay, that's I have so many learners, and especially grade 8. So I always tell them, okay, that's an interesting mistake. I never say, I put these adjectives. This is a very interesting mistake. Let's figure out why did you do it and how come it happened and how can we avoid it next time. Now, the last one, constructive feedback fosters improvement. Now, we as an educator, I believe it is very important to give a prompt feedback to the students, and they benefit a lot when we are giving a constructive feedback. Now, remember, the feedback should be very specific. It should help the students to see their strengths first and then the areas of growth. It's not pinpointing you are wrong in this. It's about showing students how are you improving. I always believe when I'm giving the feedback, I'm not in my mindset, as I said, my mindset is not fixed. I always tell them that this is a good piece of writing, but let's understand how can we make it better? How can we improve? Because remember, as educator, we need to motivate our learners every time. So I could just say, suppose a debate competition in my class, and I am giving feedback. So I could say your arguments are very strong, but next time focus on the eye contact, your voice modulation to connect better with the audience. So the teacher action, how is teacher taking action in all the 4 principles that I just shared is extremely essential. Make feedback a two-way street. After giving the positive feedback, after providing the feedback, ask the student, what do you think you could do differently next time? So it is, I always give feedback and I make it an open flow for students to ask me. So always believe that, and feedback is a two-way communication, two-way street. Bottom line, to foster growth mindset, we must teach our students that intelligence is not fixed. Efforts leads to improvement. Mistakes are valuable learning tools. By emphasizing these principles, these 4 principles in the classroom, we are creating supportive classroom environment where students feel valued. They feel empowered, student agency. They want to learn, they want to grow, but they need voice. And when we give them feedback, when we tell them, we motivate their hard work, we motivate their abilities, then they feel valued. Now, very important, how? How do we encourage a growth mindset in a classroom? By doing these little things, we can foster a enriching environment in our class. Praise the effort of the student and not the ability. The focus of praising should be when you praise any learner, you are actually fostering a growth mindset where they believe that they can improve, whether they can improve by their hard work or the patience or learning from mistakes as well. So when we emphasize the effort of the students, we help students to actually share the idea. They are in control. So it is extremely important. Can you, I think there's a noise behind the background. Could you please mute yourself? Yeah. So as I said, praise the effort. Now the next part, encourage mistakes and failures. Now, even we are encouraging, I'm sorry, yes, even we are encouraging the mistake of the student, we are also encouraging the failure as well. So If praising effort reinforces the idea that your skill and abilities can be developed, making, little changes in your daily life. We should also, you know, it also increases the motivation. When students receive praise for their hard work, they feel recognized, they feel valued, and they feel extremely happy that, the teacher has praised their dedication. It motivates the student to perform well. So instead of focusing on the ability, like you are so smart, always celebrate the failures. You worked really hard on the project. I can see you investing a lot of time and hard work to it. This reinforcement that effort is the final, it's not the final outcome. It is valuable. You have to value your journey. So avoid praise that is based on intelligence or talent. You are smart, you are natural, you are good. I do not appreciate this in the classroom. So you manage your time well during the assignment. Your efforts is amazing. So mistakes are okay. They are valuable for learning, right? If a student misses out on a maths problem, I have seen in my with my son as well, the teacher always focuses on the steps of it and then gives the marks. She never focuses on the outcome. She always share that, okay, this is the process that you have done is absolutely correct. Let's understand where are you lacking and how can you improve to get the correct answer. Provide meaningful feedback. As I mentioned, it is very important to provide the meaningful feedback to the students. Rather than praising good job, you should always say you need to improve. So provide meaningful feedback, make it clear to them where they can enhance their skills. Your conclusion, say for example, the other day I gave them a story writing and I told them that your conclusion was very well reasoned. You summarized the key points very beautifully. You added the evidence after every text. Students knows exactly that where he is good at. That is very important. So good job probably will not work. Where, how, and why it matters. And timely feedback. I think that feedback should be given in a very timely manner so that students are aware where they can apply, how they can apply, and where they can improve. Delayed feedbacks. I don't believe in the concept of delayed feedback because it loses the relevance at that point of time, and it is not, I feel, effective in guiding the students. Now, a growth mindset in the classroom through effective learning strategies. As educators, we use various innovative practices in our classroom to ensure that we are cultivating the growth mindset in our children. But let's understand a few of them. The number one and my favorite is the PBL, project-based learning. It emphasizes learning through a meaningful project because they're involved in real life. They are involved in the real life world. They connect to outside people. It encourages their creativity. It encourages their critical thinking. It encourages collaboration. Students take the ownership of the learning, which reinforces the idea that efforts leads to improvement. When a particular group or students, as a matter of fact, is working on a project, they see the value of trial, error, and exploration. So, I'm giving an example. In my class, they were creating a magazine through research work where they were developing writing skills, editing skills. So, provide students with open-ended projects. Brief them, guide them, mentor them, let them reflect. And the second one is encouraging inquiry-based classroom. I think in today's world, education is all about inquiry based. When students are encouraged to ask questions, they feel they develop their skills, they develop 21st century skills. I believe they develop problem solving skills. So encourage students to ask why. Let them talk, give the floor to them. Students should ask us why and how. Allow them to explore the topics beyond the textbooks. So frame mistakes as part of discovery process. The third one is differentiated instruction. Every students learn differently. Every student is unique. We as educators should value differentiation in the classroom because it ensures that all students feel supported, challenged, and everybody is capable of growth, not only one particular student. Give them choices. When you have, maybe I have 10 students in my class, I give them a lot of choices, a lot of options, and they create beautifully because they know that the floor is all theirs. I am just giving them an option, an opportunity, a lot of opportunities to explore. The last one we are all doing as educators, formative assessments, or what we call it, summative assessment. Formative assessments actually is a regular feedback and it gives you an opportunity to grow. So, because it's an ongoing and continuation process, these assessments focus on the progress of the child and not the outcome. To student learn with a lot of formative assessments. I ensure that I'm, doing a lot of FAs in my classroom because it helps them to grow. It helps them to, receive meaningful feedback on the spot. Advantages of having a growth mindset in a classroom. I think we as educators, we all know that whenever we are encouraging this in our classroom, we are not only strengthening open-mindedness in children, where they are likely to say, okay, let's try this. Okay, if not this, let's try the other one. We are giving approaches to them as opportunities to improve. A student who's struggling, example, a student who's struggling in vocabulary, they might try using different kind of flash cards which actually help their peer also to grow. Group discussions improve open-mindedness. It engaged in refining students' opinion and let them discuss and be there in the class rather than rote memorization. The next is building great resilience. So as I said, students who a growth mindset reframes failure as an essential tool for learning. They're actually reframing failure because they're developing patience. This mindset fosters determination in students and emotional strength where they know that failure becomes less intimidating when students understand that it's a normal part of growth. So it should not feel overwhelming to the child. The next is, as I said, boost academic performance. When I say boost academic performance, when we do all these things, we improve communication skills, we build resilience in a classroom, we increase open-mindedness. Automatically, students with growth mindset perform better in the classroom as compared to before. They know where they are lacking. So who's student who's repeatedly struggling in a particular topic like an essay, and teacher incorporating the feedback, practicing, making sure that the child practice daily. So celebrate effort. Celebrate every effort of the student. Celebrate failures. Always example J.K. Rowling. I mean, she was rejected so many times before actually publishing Harry Potter. So it actually is everywhere. So create a safe space. Create a space safe by our teaching practices. Create a safe space for the learners. Normalize failures. Build a classroom culture where students feel expressed, they are free to talk without being fear of judged. And failure is seen as a step towards success. Students are more willing to try new things. So push their limits. If we want our learners to develop a growth mindset, we need to normalize failure as a part of learning process. Instead of focusing on being right and wrong every time, focus on the effort. Encourage collaborative learning so that students grow together. Collaboration fosters peer-to-peer learning. Even if it's a small group discussion, my first 10 minutes of the class is always discussing with the students. It actually teaches them to value the collective effort. It teaches them to value each other's opinion, matter. So plan your discussions where students answer the open-ended question, justify their reasoning. This really helps in cultivating the growth mindset as they realize that learning process is just endless. It's exploring to all the possibilities. So by asking open-minded questions, we are fostering curiosity among students. We are allowing our students to explore the thoughts without being judged. Allow them to articulate their thought process, allow them to engage deeply with learning things, with learning materials. So, what is the theme of the story? Ask why do you, example, I'm just framing an example. What is the theme of the story? Ask why do you think the author chose this theme? So, what's and lots, and how does it connect with the characters? So, replace your questions with higher order thinking skills. Let the floor be theirs. Give them goals. We all know what smart goals are. Give them goals so that they create the environment where they need, where they are aware that, okay, we need to work on this specific goal and beyond their comfort zone. They have to come out of their comfort zone. I always in my classroom make sure whenever I'm giving an example or whenever I'm giving a feedback, I include myself in the feedback. I always say that, okay, I was not good at this and this. I was not good at this and this, and probably now I'm much better. So remember, assign roles to student, peer collaboration, open-endedness always cultivates growth mindset in the classroom. On that note, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the session and take something forward towards and inculcate growth mindset in the classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Miss.
Ms. Pravina.
Thank you, Miss Anjali. Like it's indeed a very informative session. Um, we have the audience, the participants here, Suman, Sheetal, Arora, Miss Mary Sebastian, and Aman Zahra. Participants, if you want any questions, yeah, a question from Miss Mary Sebastian. What are some effective ways to celebrate progress and growth in the classroom?
So the first way I feel, thank you, Miss Mary, for the question first. In my classroom or in anybody's classroom, I think celebrating progress is very important. Celebrating growth is very important. So uh, I give them small rewards. So reward students with digital badges, like, mentioning that they have achieved little milestones, like, most improved, creative thinker, team player, reflect on the growth of the student. Give them, I always appreciate the students. I give them personal messages. I give them one-to-one chats. I always celebrate the process. Recognize students not just for the outcomes, but for the hard work and the results that they do and play. So I always celebrate the mistakes also. I remember I celebrated mistakes. Everybody did, as I mentioned in the presentation also during my class, they were not clear with the instructions for a project. So at that time, most of the students did wrong. So I called it, okay, we are celebrating all the mistakes today and let's understand what was learned from the mistakes and emphasize how we can grow. So give the personal touch, use technology, use online tools, reward them, reflect or let them reflect on the growth. And I think last but not the least, peer appreciation. Very important when we involve peers into learning. Students take turn giving positive feedback to the classroom. They're allowing themselves, they're allowing their friends to appreciate. And even, they give very constructive feedback. So celebrate, showcase individual achievements, reflect on the growth, use personal touch as facilitators, as teachers. So I also, create a shout out. So I always highlight the students' appreciation and I always involve the parents also in it.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciation is really important. On that note, ma'am, can you discuss the importance of teacher mindset in fostering a growth mindset culture in the classroom? Can you please unmute yourself, ma'am?
Yes, I'm sorry. So as
Yes.
a teacher, as I was saying, a teacher's mindset plays a very critical role in shaping up the positive and effective classroom environment. As we are preaching growth mindset in a class, I think the teacher mindset should be extremely important to foster growth and inspire students, right? So as teacher, recognize that every student can learn and grow with effort. So it's very important for a teacher to be empathetic, extremely important to become compassionate as individuals because we as educators, it's very important for us to know our learners. We should always take time to understand every learner's strengths, challenges. We should recognize their backgrounds, their abilities and learning styles, and make sure that as educators, we meet students where they are, create a safe space for learning. As an educator, I think we should be very positive and, of course, patience. Focus whenever we are facing challenges in the classroom. Let's focus on what can be done to improve the situation rather than, okay, just mulling about the problem. Why did this happen? Let's focus on why did it happen, because of who it happened, where was I lacking. Let's reflect as educators. If we are preaching our students to reflect as education, we should reflect as well, right? So as educators, we should reflect on every classroom that we go to so that we can demonstrate resilience by just being calm, flexible, and optimistic. And I think as education, we should also celebrate our small wins. Find joy in learning. Find joy in every classroom. Find joy in every success, no matter even if it is small. I also ensure that I work with my colleagues. As I said, peer learning is important, and so it's for me. So I share ideas, I learn from others, and collaborate on best practices always. Since I'm heading a team, so it comes as an advantage because we are continuously sharing ideas with each other.
Yes, ma'am. Knowledge sharing is very important, and celebrating small successes is really, and it creates a very encouraging environment too. So, any more questions from the participants? Before I ask a question from my side, Ms. Sheetal, Suman, Aman, Miss Mary. Okay. So, ma'am, what types of feedback do you provide to students to encourage a growth mindset, and how do you ensure that feedback is actionable and supportive?
Okay. So what kind of feedback, as I mentioned in the PPT also when I was presenting, that feedback is an extremely essential tool for cultivating growth mindset in the class. So it should be an effort-based feedback. As I mentioned in my 30-minute session, I think I mentioned 4 times that let's praise the effort and not the let's praise the effort of the student and not the outcome. So my feedback is always very, very concise, where students know where they are good at and how they can improve. So effort-based feedback. Recognize students' hard work rather than, just the outcome. Make it, and it should be strategy focused. Make a small spread, highlight the approaches and, it should be very constructive, offer specific, actionable, make sure it is actionable. And you ask me how it is actionable, right? So when I first of all, feedback should always normalizes mistakes. As I said, celebrate mistakes always. Feedback should be actionable. It's okay to make mistakes, right? Tell them it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. So I ensure that during my class, whenever I'm giving a feedback, I create a progress tracker where actually students can see. There's a growth wall. I have a growth wall on my Canva where they display their achievements, best efforts. I give them effort cards. I tell them during our lesson. So it's very important to, as I said, provide strategy focused feedback. So how students approach the problem is very important. And whenever you're giving a feedback on a particular writing topic or a speaking topic, ask students to write about what strategy worked well. So exit ticket is a great idea. Whenever you leave a class, give an exit ticket where they are reflecting on their mistakes. What did you learn today? How do you think you can improve? That's an excellent way to provide actionable feedback every time during the end of the class. Ask the students what went well. Even those small, 3 smileys, okay, the big one and the neutral face and the sad one. How was the class? That's an actionable feedback. Apart from using, of course, the constructive one, use rubrics, turn, I think, as I said, I introduced a goal tracker a few months back where they have a Canva wall and they know what they have achieved and where they need to work on. So every Canva, that growth wall, every student has a separate page. So reinforce positive risk taking. Very, very important. Teachers should always follow up the feedback. Always
Anjali.
follow up on the feedback. Any more questions, Ms. Praveena? Okay, I think,
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
please continue, ma'am.
yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. So just one question to end with.
Sure.
Can you discuss any potential challenges or obstacles to implementing growth mindset practices and how you have overcome them in your own practice?
Yes. So as I said, learners, we are living in 21st century. Learners are over smart. I think students are more smarter than us.
Right.
So, right. So I had couple of times faced a lot of challenges to cultivate this mindset in my class because, as I said, these students have the fixed mindset. They determine themselves on the basis of the marks they got.
Mhm.
So I remember it was just a reading comprehension I took with my students where I gave a higher order thinking skill question. And it didn't have a correct or a wrong, it didn't have a correct or an incorrect answer. It was just a question where they had to give their opinions, right? So I had to convince the child that I gave you this because it was not mentioned. But he was actually very stubborn and told me that, ma'am, I have to have full marks because this is one of your FAs you are taking. So I need full marks on this. And it took me a little while challenge that, okay, because I thought he had a fear of failure.
Mhm.
Failure as in he was not pushing himself beyond the comfort zone. He was my regular student, and I realized that he's very, very fixed because he had a habit of getting good grades. And one mistake, he felt really discouraged. So, as an educator, it was very important for me to get him out of his comfort zone. I motivated him. I talked to him separately, and I told him that your grades doesn't define your personality. It doesn't define you as a person. Your uh, the effort that you put in every task define you. So I make sure that whenever students like this, we have adults like this. We're not, if I talk about adults also, they also have fixed mindset. Students often have fixed mindset where they believe their abilities are static because they see these XYZ things, right? They don't consider themselves this, okay, it's a learning opportunity. So we as an educator, I as an educator in my classroom ensured that in fact, he also got the parent. So I ensured that the meeting, when I took the meeting with the parent and the students of just 1 mark, I was very adamant that I not give you that 1 mark because you have the fear of failure. And you are being discouraged of pushing yourself and trying out new things. And at the end, of course, he understood.
Nice, ma'am. So before we end the session, anything else you want to mention?
No, nothing. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody present here uh, cultivates growth mindset in the classroom and, of course, in their personal life.
Definitely. Thanks a lot. Thank you once again for sharing your knowledge on our platform, Miss Anjali. Have a great day. I'll end
Thank
this
you.
session. Thank you.
Thank you.